Can she excuse my wrongs with virtue's cloak? Shall I call her good when she proves unkind? Are those clear fires which vanish into smoke? Must I praise the leaves where no fruit I find? No, no, where shadows do for bodies stand. Thou mayst be abused if thy sight be dim. Cold love is like to words written on sand, or to bubbles which on the water swim. Wilt thou be thus abused still, seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not o'ercome her will, thy love will be thus fruitless ever. Wilt thou be thus abused still, seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not o'ercome her will, thy love will be thus fruitless ever. Was I so base that I might not aspire unto those high joys which she holds from me? As they are high, so high is my desire. If she this deny, what can granted be? If she will yield to that which reason is, it is reason's will that love should be just. Dear, make me happy still by granting this, or cut off delays if that I die must. Better 1,000 times to die than for to live thus still tormented. Dear, but remember it was I who for thy sake didst die contented. Better 1,000 times to die than for to live thus still tormented. Dear, but remember it was I who for thy sake didst die contented.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well done, Fabian. Yeah, fantastic. So we've got Fabian here, who is a member of Downland Youth Works. Fabian, you're 19, is that right?
I'm 18.
18,
Yeah.
sorry. Should have known that really. And that was really, really fantastic. Tell me what you know about this piece.
Yeah, so it's written to the tune of the Earl of Essex Galliard. It's from Dowland's 1597 second book of songs. It's the first book, isn't it? It's first book. Sorry, yeah. It's from the first book of songs, and it's written to the Earl of Essex Galliard, and so the poem itself is based loosely on the life and kind of let's say worldview of Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, who was a very ambitious favourite of Elizabeth I's, and he ended up working his way up through various means to the position of Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, a position in which he failed catastrophically and ended up being executed by the Queen. And we don't really know where the poem came from, but it's supposed to sort of express his feelings of desire for the Queen and her political power, and his eventual failure.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, he was a fascinating character, and he, as you say, didn't do very well in Ireland. Came back, decided to present himself to the Queen when she was still getting up in the morning, and
Yes.
that didn't go particularly well either. And eventually he was banished out to his the woods in Essex, near Wanstead, in fact, where Epping Forest begins now. And so we think that this might be a comment on the fact that he's asking for forgiveness. Can she excuse my wrongs?
Yeah.
With virtue cloak. And he was clearly a very prolific and slightly arrogant figure. And obviously had this sort of very young attitude through himself and a lot of things. We really hear this in the song, don't we? I mean, for starters, we've got this very fast Galliard rhythm. Yum bum bum ba dee da bum 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 ba. dum ba bum ba bum. And so constantly in this song, the rhythm drives the emotional state because we get the rhythm pushing against the meter of the galliard a lot of the time, and not least in the last section. Will be thus abused and still, seeing that she will write the. It's just really, he's constantly pushing against the grain of what's acceptable.
Right. Yeah.
So that's all written into the rhythm. So I'd really love you to do. Could you perhaps just go from the start?
Yeah.
Take it really lightly and just give me that shall I call her good, and just really find the dance and the cheekiness in it, you know, the turning up at 6 a.m. in Elizabeth I's bedroom cheekiness, you know.
From the top.
Can she excuse my wrongs with virtue's cloak? Shall I call her good when she proves unkind?
It's fantastic, yeah, lovely. Let's keep it even lighter for me. Shall I call her good when she's... It's got a real sprightliness about it. Give me a good C at the start. Can she excuse my wrongs? So we really hear where the meter is of that.
Okay.
Can she excuse my wrongs with virtue's cloak? Shall I call her good when she proves unkind?
Yeah. Did you notice how Sam really reacted to
Yes,
this
he
as well?
did.
Yeah, you're allowing him to come through a lot more that way, which is fantastic. I'm just going to push this point, and then I'm sure Sam will come in with some things as well. Which is maybe just do this last bit, because what I want from you here is a real sense that you're driving against this rhythm, but with the stresses of the text. So maybe could you just read it as if it's a poem. Wilt thou be thus gone? I want to hear where your stresses are.
Wilt thou be thus abused still?
Okay.
Seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not overcome her will, thy love will be thus fruitless ever.
Brilliant. Now, do something strange for me. Can you go against the stresses? So pick strange words to do the stresses on. Have a go.
Wilt thou be thus abused ever? Wilt thou be...
Yeah.
Wilt,
That's
wilt
good.
thou be thus abused still, seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not overcome her will, thy love will be thus fruitless ever.
Brilliant, exactly. And there are many combinations of that. But actually what you just brought out there was something really interesting in the quality. Because you said, well, it could be, seeing that she will right thee never. And in which case, you know, wilt thou be thus abused still? It's going to change. Wilt thou be thus abused still?
Yeah.
So make a decision about how you'd like it to be. Don't necessarily just go with the rhythm, because this is a man who's angsty, and he's very worried because he's about to basically be executed if he keeps mucking up, which eventually he did. He led a rebellion, which is not an advisable thing to do. So here we go. Let's go from wilt thou be thus, and just find that sprightness and aim for where you want to aim.
Yeah. Okay.
Wilt thou be thus abused still, seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not overcome her will, thy love will be thus fruitless ever. Wilt thou be thus abused still, seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not overcome her will.
Mind that rhythm there. If thou canst not overcome. So you
Sorry.
see,
I'm thinking bass.
don't worry. The bass part is different.
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah.
But the thing here is clever, is because he's saying if I can't overcome her will. So he's trying a different approach.
Yeah.
If thou canst not overcome her will, thy love.
Yeah.
And just seeing if he can overcome the will that way as well. So it's all written in there. Should we do this together? And I'll just help you with that bit.
Yeah.
Here we go. And.
Wilt thou be thus abused still, seeing that she will right thee never? If thou canst not overcome her will, thy love will be thus fruitless ever.
Good, and that last bit as well. Just do that, 2, 3.
Ever.
That's it. But you want to phrase that. He's done that for you, has he? Yum, tum, 1, 2, 3.
Ever.
Beautiful, well done, yeah.
Molto bravo.
Good sound, I'm
Yeah.
sure you've got a couple of
I was
points.
just thoroughly enjoying that. Yes, I was very interested to hear in that third section where, as you say, you are following the lute rhythm and the rhythm of the tune. Of the accompaniment on Wilt Thou Be Thus Abused Still. This is the third part of the song. Until you get to If Thou Kannst not overcome will. This is where you break out of the rhythm that the song has given you.
Mhm.
You know. The tune here, incidentally, is the tune to a piece of William Byrd and a folk song, Will You Walk the Woods So Wild?
Ah, right.
So this is quite possibly this is Essex up in Epping Forest, wandering the woods. One detail about this piece. Of course, we don't know who wrote the poem.
No.
It is very possible that the author was the Earl himself. We know that Dowland allied himself with Essex Circle politically, and very many of the songs in this first book are from the point of view of various figures at court.
Right.
In fact, the first kind of songs 3 through to 10 generally really reflect court figures, important personalities who Dowland was acquainted with. He might have been writing for them.
Right.
It was a way of, as Chris Goodwin points out, it was a way of, by publishing these songs, demonstrating that he was working for very high up patrons. So it could well have been something that the Earl wrote himself. We don't know. One detail though is that the pattern of poetry that's being used is a style of very balanced, what's called euphistic speech.
Yeah.
Which is, as you know, I've bored you about this a great deal. But this is a pattern of speech where we have something on the one hand and then on the other, something here and then there. What comes up and then comes down, to and fro. And this is generally very associated with a very aristocratic way of speaking. It's a very educated, very balanced form of address. And I think you were bringing this out quite naturally, with the shape of the phrase. Can she excuse my wrongs with virtue's cloak? Must I praise the leaves when no fruit I find? And so on and so on. I think you're bringing this out quite well. Let's have a look. To be honest, I thought that your interpretation was spot on. I thought it was a really superb, brilliantly brought out. Could we take a look at the second verse? There were one or two moments I wanted to bring out there. Let's see.
Was I so base that I might not aspire unto those high joys which she holds from me?
Very good.
Forgive
me, yes. One detail that you're doing quite naturally is bringing out aspire and holding on to the breath into the next phrase. So was I so base that I might not aspire unto those? Quite naturally. And for that to work, I'm having to shave a little bit of time off the loop part to react to you, but that's coming across very, very well. Let's see.
It's an interesting verse because this is the one, was I so base? So was the problem with me?
Yes.
And for someone who's clearly quite arrogant, for
she
him to
will
have
write
that
the
moment,
never and then
and so enjoy that moment of introspection, even if it's in the chaos of this person who was I so base that I might not aspire. It's quite foreign to him that he might think about it himself for a moment.
But then by the end of the line, it turns out that his concern is that he's not being ambitious enough.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Rather than that he's flawed in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
Indeed. Constantly sort of pushing forwards.
Yeah.
In this piece.
Go for it. Let's see if we can find out those qualities. It's lovely.
Second verse.
Was I so base that I might not aspire unto those high joys which she holds from me?
Nice.
As they are high, so high is my desire. If she this deny, what can granted be?
Very good. You're doing that lovely ornament. If she this deny, what was that? Where it was? No. As they high, so high is my desire. It's lovely, nice little ornament. Have a reason for doing it, because at the moment it sounds like you've listened to it and learnt it, which is great. But they need to be desires. Right. It's my desire. Each one's going, that desire about it. Yeah. See if you can just find that. So as they are high.
Yeah. We take it from as they are high.
Yeah.
As they are high, so high is my desire.
Yes. Bravo.
Okay.
Yeah, lovely. Good.
Fantastic. That was good. Yes. Take care. The ornament that you used initially. It's my desire.
Yes.
This is very late French.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, the Elizabethan temperament is much more kind of it's less ornate in a way. It's still very sort of earthy. You know, if you're going to make a trill, it happens on the note and not falling onto it from above.
Yeah.
You know, so high is my desire would work, for example, if you wanted to trill the note.
Right.
But not.
Okay.
This is much later, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Should we just finish this? Let's go from better 1,000 times to die. So I wonder if there are a couple of things we could improve with just some of the text. We just find these constants a little more. You've been really good with it throughout, actually. But just for example, when I said to you at the start, can she execute, it really helped with your breath.
Yeah.
Just from a technical level, better 1,000 times to die. Let's just see if we can really get it at the front of the tongue.
Better 1,000 times to die.
One more time. Just take the volume right away on this one. So just listen to me and sound in a second. Better 1,000 times to die. Do you see I'm barely pushing the voice?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? But I'm pushing the consonants instead.
Better 1,000 times to die than for to live thus still tormented, dear. But remember it was I who for thy sake didst die contented. Better 1,000 times to die than for to live thus still tormented, dear. But remember it was I who for thy sake didst die contented.
Yes.
Bravo.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Excellent.
And so now
Superb.
you see how when we work with the lute, we never need to push that sound.
Yeah.
Because actually at that point it felt so much more homogenous between you.
Yeah.
And the lute part in this is absolutely nuts, isn't it? Because it's all the machinations of this man going on underneath.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fabian, well done. Really
Thank you.
superb.
Yeah, this is sounding fantastic. I mean, I'm only full of compliments here. I think you're really interpreting this beautifully. One thing that I'm very pleased with is your gestures. The way that you're making use of hand gesture.
Yeah. No, well, I think this kind of discussion and talking about the background of the song and the poem really contributes to that without having to sort of really pore over what I'm going to do for each line, you know. So it's more spontaneous. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
Pleasure. Fabian, well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.